back to Tao of Twang. I'm Dave. Got a fun one today. It's kind of a country blues shuffle, kind of big river type of riff. Um, Went through the chords there first before I went into the single note stuff. And I just have that one time around there on the soloing, right? I'm just going to kind of, take that step by step, maybe not note for note, but I'm going to show you each segment of that and the moves that are being made there. You'll be able to put something together with this, I'm sure, after this video. Might have to watch it a couple times if you're not used to this style. Don't worry about the speed right now. I did it, at a speed that I think the style speaks through well. But of course, we're going to slow it down to work on it, right? So here's that progression again. It's G, C, and D, and every one of them is a dominant seven, a flat seven version of those triads. That's important because that's kind of how the licks are designed around it too. So we're not going to have to do a lot of key study stuff on this. Each chord kind of has its going to do its own thing, even though we're clearly in like a G145 type of structure, right? So you got to G up to that D7, back to the G, C7, G. Okay, did that little kind of turn around back up to that D and back to the G at the end. The licks that you can use on this don't necessarily have to jump over and address that chord specifically. Okay, that's kind of an important side note, because what I just said was they're all going to the licks kind of go chord for chord. That's true. On that last one though, we'll use a kind of a broader phrasing that will just cover that as a phrase more so than like G, D, G, right? So we're going to slow the whole thing down. Don't worry. So the first move or idea that I'm doing in there is something like okay. Different timings. When I slow it down, my timing changes, right? It's not going to be just exactly the statement that I made in terms of phrasing at a different tempo, right? And that's okay, because what's essential here is even if we're just playing not with drums or a track or anything right now, right? We want to just say G, G7, and here's a riff or a pathway for that. I kind of changed the phrasing there, but this is the main things, like a G major pentatonic path. Okay, so I'll have a couple of diagrams that I'll put in the description, links to them. They'll show you, that one, especially in G. Okay, then it's up to the D after that. So stays on G for a second. That's a little G pentatonic lick, right? Like a little blues lick. So you can hear clearly where that goes to the D, right? Now, there's a number of things you could do here. Starting with that would sound great. Right? You don't have to do all the, the pedal steel sounding thing and all that if you're not ready to do that yet. If you are, then you got a lot of different choices. You could do them together. You could separate, just that note up there, right? The important thing again is that you chunk it out, I call it, right? You have a plan, a map for how you're going to play through this progression. So far we got this. Now when I go back to the G, again, I'm just going to the note G, right? And just now, flat 7 of the G to the C there. So now let me play this with the chords in between, not with the backing track. And you'll see what I mean. This is how you can track this and play through without having to play it up to speed. Keep going and playing sort of just a skeletal version of it, right? And I'll put more of the chords in it this time. When I go down to that note, it's still on G, but it's emphasizing that flat 7. That's cool. I'll show you in a second with the backing track. Then, same kind of moves that you could do up here with the D. 2 doors down. Okay. Don't get caught up in every little piece of that. That's just G major pentatonic stuff. And here's how you can really even, with the track, you can really, pull back on some of the parts of the licks, but still get that skeleton going like this. Let's see where we are. Check it out. Okay. I'm just laughing at myself because, I did some funky stuff in there, right? But that's because I'm taking stuff away, right? But I'm trying to leave the essential stuff there, the stuff that the notes, the buried treasure, right? The notes that when I hit them, that's the next chord. That's a chord tone. You feel it, right? And it'll work out, man. I could show you, it would also, another method that you could use here is you could just, learn, obviously like a note for note, kind of arrangement or so like that, and then kind of apply that, generalize it to other things in your playing. That's a great method too. And I hope that you're using this channel along with other resources that give you a taste of all of those different styles of learning, right? This one is very intertwined with your own musical language, right? That's how Tao twang works, right? So when I say chunk it out, that means those of you that haven't been watching, until recently, that means that here's the moves, the nuts and bolts, right? The parts, if you will, the ingredients that we're going to put in there, and then you're gonna you know m- make something, cook something with that, right? But I try to be pretty specific about the moves and everything. So one last little time here, just so you can kind of have a good sense of what you're going to map out. That's over the D. And little stuff like that last little part, take the time to just use your ear. That stuff, you're hearing it. I know you are. I know it's in your head. You're hearing something, but you're like, I don't know if I don't see the tab or where to do it. It's there. It's already there. And it's usually within some of these pretty simple scale sequences, really. Just work it out, right? It's just like you work out any kind of language. One of the ways that we all naturally do that is at the end of a song, right? You look around at your bandmates and stuff at practice or at a gig, and you're like, no, I don't know, we don't know exactly how we're going to end this, and you communicate very rapidly, like you don't ding dang bang, right? Well, you can do that in sort of an internal conversation with yourself, right? You know, trust that process of letting all of these parts be present, even though you can't play them all at one time, right? We'll leave that to Tommy Emmanuel, right? He's getting it done. He is, the one man. Like he says, he saves a lot of money, gigging by himself, and he's still a whole band, right? Um, so let me know how this goes. Hope you're having a great December so far, and maybe spending a little more time indoors, depending on where you live, and having a little bit more time to hang out and play guitar and do stuff like that. It's a good time of year for that. All right, I'll talk to you soon.